The mansion was quieter than it had been in years. Not the peaceful kind of quiet that comes after a celebration or a long day of laughter. No, this one felt like the air itself was sitting still, afraid to move, afraid to breathe, afraid that any sound might break whatever thin thread of calm still held the place together. Liana had been taken away hours ago. Kellen Bey walked out shortly after, shoulders stiff, eyes tired, but his heart finally lightened by truth. Chief Maro Diarra had followed him out briefly, speaking softly, apologizing with the voice of a man who had lost too much already. Afterward, he left the mansion as well, ashamed to face anyone inside. Mama Rena prayed quietly in the corner, whispering words only heaven could properly interpret. Before we continue, please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell us where you are watching from. Your support helps us grow and bring more stories your way. And Zuri Moyo stood outside the Aurora Hill Estate gates, hands tucked into her pockets, staring at the slow sunset as though trying to read a message hidden in the sky. Her mind replayed the last few hours like a broken movie reel. Liana's screams, the confession, the recording, the betrayal buried beneath silk and smiles, and a woman standing firm when no one else would. For years, Zuri believed loyalty meant closing one's eyes to the shadows around a person. She believed kindness meant protecting someone even when they didn't deserve it. But today taught her something new. Truth was courage, and courage was freedom. She inhaled deeply, letting the cool Cape Town evening breeze wash over her. Behind her, the workers moved quietly in the house, resetting chairs, wiping down tables, sweeping the marble floor. Not because anyone told them to, but because they didn't know what else to do with their hands while their hearts processed everything they had witnessed. Inside, Zuri finished rinsing her hands in the staff kitchen sink. She dried them on a small towel and stared at her reflection in the glass cupboard. Her face looked tired, more tired than she expected for a day she never imagined being at the center of. She touched her wrist, the same wrist she'd used to block Liana's slap. She didn't regret it. Not for a second. But she also didn't expect the chaos that followed. A soft knock at the doorway made her turn. It was Mama Rena. "Child," the older woman said gently, stepping inside. "I need to speak with you." Zuri nodded and followed her to the corner of the kitchen where the warm evening light painted Mama Rena's face in soft gold and gentle shadows. They sat for a moment. The older woman said nothing. Her eyes stayed low, deep in thought, almost sad. "Are you all right, Ma?" Zuri asked softly. Mama Rena lifted her head and chuckled. One of those tired laughs that never reached the eyes. "I should be asking you that question." She reached out and held Zuri's hand. "My dear, you were brave today, but your bravery came at a cost none of us expected." Zuri shook her head slowly. "I didn't want trouble. I only wanted her to stop." "And she did," Mama Rena replied. "Because of you." Silence settled between them again. Then Zuri finally voiced the question she'd been avoiding since the chaos began. "Ma, do you think I did the right thing?" Mama Rena squeezed her hand warmly. "My child, the truth is simple. You saved someone else from being hurt. That is always the right thing." Zuri exhaled deeply, relief softening her shoulders. But Mama Rena wasn't finished. "There is something you must understand about this house," the older woman continued. "People think working for the wealthy is just cleaning, arranging, cooking. But sometimes it is also about seeing their secrets, their weaknesses, their hidden wounds." Zuri swallowed hard. She knew where this was going. "Liana's downfall began long before you stopped her hand," Mama Rena said softly. "You did not break her. Life did. Her choices did. Her lies did. You were only the mirror she finally had to face." Zuri nodded slowly. Then Mama Rena leaned closer. "But Zuri, there is one person in this house whose future now ties into yours." Zuri blinked in confusion. "Who, Ma?" Mama Rena smiled gently. "Kellen." Zuri jumped slightly. "No, Ma. Sir Kellen is a billionaire. I'm just a maid. He's going through too much already." Mama Rena lifted her hand, silencing her. "Child, you remind him of something he has not seen in a long time." Zuri's heart thudded. She looked away. "I don't want any misunderstanding. I respect him, but nothing more." "And if life says otherwise?" Mama Rena asked softly. Zuri's breath caught. Before she could answer, footsteps approached. Both women turned. Kellen. He stood at the doorway, framed by the fading sunlight, his expression unreadable. "Zuri," he said quietly. "May I speak with you?" Mama Rena stood immediately. "I'll give you two space." She slipped away, leaving Zuri alone with the man whose life had shattered before her eyes. Kellen stepped inside, stopping a few feet away, resting one hand on the counter. He didn't look angry, or confused, or cold. He looked human. Something Zuri had never seen in him so clearly before. "Thank you," he said. Zuri blinked. "For what, sir?" "For being brave when everyone else, including me, was blind." Zuri lowered her gaze. "I didn't do anything special." "You did more than you know," he replied. "You stopped a cycle. You protected people. You showed me the truth about someone I thought I knew." He paused. "You helped me open my eyes." Zuri's throat tightened. "I only wanted peace, sir." "And yet," Kellen said gently, "you brought justice." He hesitated, something unspoken hovering in his eyes. Kellen took a breath. Then another. There was something else he wanted to say, but he hesitated, weighing his words carefully. "Zuri," he finally whispered, "I know today was heavy for all of us, but tomorrow will bring its own challenges. My board will hear about this incident. The media might come knocking. My extended family will certainly try to twist the story." Zuri looked up slowly. "What should we do?" Kellen's eyes softened. "I don't know yet." But he exhaled and added quietly, "I know I want you to stay in this house." Zuri froze. I don't want to cause more trouble." "You won't," he replied gently. "But Liana," he paused. "Liana will not be returning." Silence filled the room. Only the hum of the refrigerator seemed brave enough to breathe. Then Kellen stepped back slightly and gave her a small, sincere smile. "When the dust settles, I would like us to talk again. Properly." Zuri's heart stumbled. "Yes, sir," she whispered. He nodded, then walked out. The moment he left, she pressed her hand to her chest. Her heart wasn't just beating, it was warning her, or calling her. She didn't know which. Behind her, Mama Rena re-entered quietly. "So," the old woman said with a sly smile, "how did the talk go?" Zuri's cheeks burned. "Mama." The older woman laughed softly and patted her shoulder. "My dear, part 2 of your life has already begun." Night fell over Aurora Hill Estate like a velvet curtain, soft and quiet, but carrying a heaviness that settled into every corner of the mansion. There were no raised voices now, no doors slamming, no echoes of fear or anger. Instead, there was an eerie calm, the kind that follows disaster, not because everything is resolved, but because everyone is too drained to speak. In the staff quarters, workers whispered in tight circles, replaying the chaos in their minds. Some were afraid. Some were stunned. Others were relieved. But all of them, in different ways, had changed. Because today, truth had walked into the mansion and demanded to be acknowledged. Inside his study, Kellen sat alone, elbows resting on the polished desk, fingers intertwined, his eyes fixed on nothing, or perhaps everything. The weight of betrayal pressed down on him like an invisible stone. He wasn't angry at Liana anymore. Anger was too simple. What he felt was deeper, heavier. He felt robbed. Robbed of trust. Robbed of peace. Robbed of the future he thought he was walking toward. His mother once told him, "The wrong person will cost you more than money. They will cost you peace." Tonight he finally understood. His phone buzzed. "Board chairman, we heard something happened at your estate. Should we be concerned?" He started typing, "All is under control." Then he paused. Was anything under control? He deleted the message. Elsewhere, Zuri stood outside the back door, staring at the moonlit courtyard. The soft glow made the air feel cooler, calmer. She needed that calm. She wrapped her arms around herself, replaying Liana's screams, Tembarezi's fury, Chief Daira's confession, and Kellen's wounded face. She never wanted to be at the center of anything. She only wanted to work quietly, send money home, avoid trouble. But trouble had found her. She wondered what her mother would say if she were strong enough to speak by phone. Probably something simple but powerful like, "My daughter, truth costs something, but lies cost more." Maybe Mama Rena would say the same. Footsteps sounded behind her. She turned. "Kellen." He walked slowly toward her, hands in pockets, gaze soft but searching. "I thought you'd be resting," he said gently. "I couldn't sleep, sir," she whispered. He came to stand beside her. "I know. Neither can I." Silence settled between them, not uncomfortable, but heavy with unspoken thoughts. After a moment, he asked, "Zuri, can I ask you something personal?" She hesitated but nodded. "Yes, sir." "What gave you the courage to stop her hand?" Zuri's breath caught. She wasn't used to talking about herself, especially not to a billionaire with a gentle voice and wounded eyes. She swallowed. "My mother," she said softly. "Before she fell sick, she always told me, Respect everyone, but fear no one. We all bleed the same. So when Miss Liana tried to slap me again, I remembered her voice. Kellen's gaze sharpened, studying her. That's a powerful lesson. Zuri nodded. It was the last thing she told me before I left our village. Kellen inhaled deeply. I envy you. She turned, confused. Envy me? Why, sir? Because, he said quietly, you still have someone whose voice gives you courage. My mother gave me strength too. But she's gone now. Zuri felt a pinch in her chest. I'm so sorry, sir. He gave a faint smile, though sadness shadowed it. It's all right. Grief is part of life. But sometimes I wish she were here. She would have seen the truth about Liana before I did. His voice dropped. Maybe she would have saved me from paying such a heavy price. Zuri didn't ask what price. His eyes already told her. After a long pause, she whispered, Sir, sometimes we pay high prices, not because we are weak, but because we love too deeply. Kellen turned to her slowly. Their eyes met, and something shifted. Not romantic. Not dramatic. Human. You're wise, he said quietly. Wiser than most people I know. Zuri looked away, embarrassed. I'm just someone who has seen enough pain to recognize it in others. Kellen studied her for a long moment, then nodded. There will be consequences after today, he said. The press might twist the story. Investors will ask questions. My extended family will accuse me of mishandling things. He hesitated. But the heaviest consequence is personal. Zuri looked up. How do you mean, sir? Kellen exhaled. I chose Liana. I trusted her. Defended her. And today I discovered she was capable of destroying everything I built. He clenched his jaw. The price wasn't the scandal. It was believing in the wrong person. Zuri stepped closer, not touching him, but near enough to show presence. Sir, she said softly, trusting someone isn't a mistake. Ignoring your heart is. Today your heart saw clearly. That is not a loss. It is a blessing. For the first time all day, Kellen felt something inside him settle. Thank you, Zuri, he whispered. You're welcome, sir. They stood together watching the moon rise, unaware that someone somewhere was watching them. And a much darker storm was already on its way. Kellen's eyes lingered on Zuri a moment longer before he finally turned away. But before he could speak again, a loud, urgent knock exploded against the study door. His expression hardened instantly. Come in, he commanded. The head of security rushed inside, breathing heavily. Sir, there's a problem. Kellen straightened. What now? It's Temba Razi. Zuri gasped quietly. What about him? He didn't go home last night, sir, the guard said. But that's not the issue. Kellen frowned. Where is he then? That's the problem, the guard replied. He never left Aurora Hill. Something cold crawled across the room. Zuri felt her heartbeat falter. Kellen stepped closer, voice sharp. What do you mean he never left? We found his car parked behind the eastern wall, the guard said. And sir, he wasn't alone. Kellen's eyes narrowed. Alone? You mean someone else was with him? The guard swallowed. Not someone ordinary, sir. The men we saw didn't look like visitors. They looked like men who were arriving for trouble. Zuri felt a chill sweep her spine. Kellen's voice dropped. Explain. They exchanged something with Temba. Something small. Then they left. Temba stayed. Kellen paled. Exchanged what? We don't know, sir. Zuri took a step back, fear rising in her chest. Where is he now? Kellen asked. He's inside the compound, the guard said. Walking around the edges of the property. Watching the house. Zuri's breath stopped. Watching, she whispered. Why now? Kellen muttered. Before anyone could answer, a soft whisper floated through the study window. Zuri heard it. Kellen heard nothing. Her voice trembled. Sir, someone just whispered my name. Kellen stiffened. We're increasing security. Stay inside. Do not go near the windows. Do not walk alone. If anything feels strange, call me immediately. Zuri nodded, her heart pounding. Guards escorted her away. But as she reached the corridor, another whisper slid through the air. Close. Too close. Zuri. She froze. Turned. Nothing. But fear clung to her like a shadow. The mansion, once calm, now felt alive with danger. Back in the main hall, more staff whispered in trembling clusters. Two maids approached Zuri, Adina and Kemi, both pale with fear. Did you hear? Adina whispered. They said the man outside hasn't blinked in hours. Kemi nodded nervously. And now he's asking for you. Zuri's throat tightened. Me? Why? Before they could answer, a loud knock thundered from the side entrance. Knock. 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 Slow. Heavy. Deliberate. Everyone froze. A guard shouted from the hallway. Someone is at the side door asking for Miss Zuri. Silence. Pure, suffocating silence. Kellen stormed down the stairs with 2 guards at his side. Do not open the door, he ordered. Check the cameras first. A guard sprinted to the surveillance room. Minutes felt like hours before he returned. Sir, it's Temba Razy. A ripple of fear swept through the mansion. What is he saying? Kellen demanded. The guard hesitated. He says, he needs to talk to the girl who stopped Liana's hand. Zuri's knees weakened. Kellen stepped in front of her protectively. No one speaks to her. Move her to the inner quarters. Now. 2 guards pulled Zuri gently but firmly away. She forced herself to walk, though every step felt like stepping deeper into fear. As they turned the corner, she heard Temba's voice through the door, deep, cold, disturbingly calm. Zuri, I know you can hear me. She stumbled. Her breath caught. Her whole body trembled. They rushed her into the narrow emergency corridor, the one with no windows, only a flickering bulb. She sat on a wooden bench, pulling her knees close, trying to steady her breathing. Minutes passed. Then, a whisper. Inside the wall. In the vents. Zuri. Her blood froze. She stood slowly, unable to breathe. Who are you? She whispered. A quiet chuckle echoed behind the metal. You already know. She backed away, heart thundering. Why are you looking for me? She demanded. Silence. Then, because you are the key. Her chest tightened painfully. Key to what? Footsteps crawled across the vents above her, slow, steady. You cracked the mask of this mansion, the voice whispered. And now, everything beneath wants to rise. Zuri's breath shattered. I don't want anything to do with this. But I do, the voice replied. Cold air drifted from the vent. Tell Kellen. Liana was only the beginning. The vent clicked. Silence. Zuri ran to the corridor door and banged desperately. Open the door. Please. A guard rushed in. What happened? Temba, she cried. He's inside. Through the vents. He said I'm the key. The guard paled and ran to alert Kellen. Instant chaos erupted. Seal the vents. Check the roof. Secure the west wall. Zuri pressed herself to the wall, shaking violently. Why her? What did she do? What was Riverside? What crack did she cause? Minutes later, Kellen burst into the corridor. He grabbed her shoulders gently but firmly. Zuri, are you hurt? No, sir. But he said the beginning isn't over. Kellen's jaw tightened. He signaled his guards. No one enters or leaves this house. We protect her at all costs. A scream erupted from the garden. Everyone rushed outside. A lone figure stood by the fountain, shadowed, silent, still. Not Temba. Someone else. Someone more dangerous. He raised one hand and pointed directly at Zuri. Her knees buckled. Kellen stepped in front of her instantly. Get her inside, he shouted. Guards charged, but the figure vanished. Gone. Like smoke. Zuri's entire body trembled uncontrollably. Kellen held her steady. And in that moment, they both understood. Whatever had started yesterday was nowhere near ending. Zuri wasn't just part of the story. She was the center of it. And someone out there, someone powerful, wanted her. As Kellen locked the doors behind them and guards sealed every corner, Zuri whispered the question that haunted her soul. Why me? No one knew the answer. Not yet. But the storm that was coming would shake the entire estate. And the truth hiding beneath it all would change Zuri's life forever. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell us where you are watching from.